Drop it. Drop it. No, stop. He's got a gun! He's got a gun! So, I've been on a string of bad games to review. The last two just don't really warrant reviews, and I thought I was gonna luck out with this one, but holy shit was I wrong. So, htoL, Nick, htoL Mario, the Firefly Diary, it's supposed to be like Hotaru Nikki or something? I don't know. Beyond the name itself just being a giant clusterfuck, it's just the tip of the shitberg. And when I review games, I try to be neutral and unbiased about it. If it's a game I like, I tell you so, but I'll make sure to point out its construction and any imperfections that I happen across. But I can't. Not with this one. I have never played a game quite as infuriating with this, because this game almost felt impossible to get past without causing physical harm to myself or others in my vicinity while playing. Trying to pin down exactly how this game plays, I guess my best comparisons would be something like Abe's Odyssey with, like, I don't know, fucking Patapon? Not that there's rhythm or anything to this, I just don't know what else. It's an adventure puzzle game, with completely asinine puzzles midway through and downright abysmal ones later. But for some reason, that wasn't enough, and they had to add a dash of action to the game. I'll get to that later. You start out watching some lolly on a bed like a fucking creep, and you're suddenly a firefly. Your name is Lumen. Yeah, I get it. You hover above her and wake her up, and she's all scared and shit. There's no talking throughout the game, so exposition is handled throughout the scenery and reactions of the crew, as well as these memory traces you come across. Trace memory. The environment is a twisted, ruined landscape. It's hard to get a fix on it, but it seems to be an underground labyrinth of destroyed architecture coupled with a mad scientist-level laboratories. So the big gimmick on this game is light and shadow. You guide as light and then do some shifty shit as shadow. You're given an introductory little tutorial kind of level. The controls is nothing more than mouse clicking stuff. But this quickly devolves into some maniacal madman's horrid experiment gone wrong. Originally this was a Vita game, and it was about using the touch capability. This translates fine enough to PC, but I mean translating one mess and not improving it isn't much better. Using the Firefly you guide me on, she essentially follows it wherever, so you tell her to climb ladders, boxes, gaps, blah blah. And then you get introduced to Umbra, and Umbra can manipulate things in the shade. Like, fuck it, I don't know what else to say. This game just blows big. The biggest problem as to why is simply its controls. It just doesn't fucking work. I've never been so angered by two fucking buttons before. You hold down left click to guide Lumen and to move Mion, and to pick boxes to move, and ladders, and interact with things, and shoot pellets, and die by, and be infuriated by, and do everything else. This is the ultimate context-sensitive game out there. It's incredible. Umbra, in comparison, is a godsend. He does one thing and one thing only, and whilst you do it, time freezes. The hilarity is you barely use him, unlike the light one. I guess I just don't know how to properly convey just how annoying playing this game is. I mean, the puzzles themselves, they start off okay. The beginning of the game is actually pretty good. It's after the first chapter, which is only about 30 minutes or so, is where everything just steadily goes downhill. You hold left click not only to move the Firefly, but it moves Mion at the same time, which means you can't reposition the Firefly independent of Mion moving at all. You can tell her to sit down, which just adds to the insanity, because now you have to move the Firefly twice effectively. And this game really requires fast reactions at the wrong time. It's not befitting of a puzzle game at all. We're talking like frame-perfect execution. I just don't know why. You know how fun is more or less a subjective term? What's fun for one person might not be for someone else? Well, I'm fucking saying it here. This game is objectively bad. It's not often I decide to brand a game like this. I seriously do not believe this game has enough good points going for it to be warranted as good, and not even decent. Which is a shame, because the story is fine, the art is pretty, the music is actually kind of meh. But I can't even tell you to get this or to try it out if you can. Just don't. It's not worth it. Okay, this review is going in circles. Here, let's just go into full rant mode. Let me tell you why I hate this. It's the lackluster puzzles with unworkable controls. Everything starts off okay. It's pretty, feels like there could be a heavy story going on. Cue the first boss. Yeah, there's boss fights in a puzzle game. Everything makes sense here. You're being chased, move to the other side of the screen. Oh fuck, he gets blocked by shadows. Okay, gotcha. Drop down. Oh no, no shadow is blocking him. Go into the shadow realm, knock something down to block him. Yeah, this is making sense. This is fun. Drop down, nothing, uh-oh, we're gonna get fucked, because he somehow picks me up a mile ahead of me and offs me. And again, and again, and again, It's obvious what I have to do here. I gotta knock down the train thing above me. So I have to time it almost perfectly to make a shadow connection to it the way before I even come close to it. I knock it down, nothing fucking happens. Well, as it turns out, this animation, when he's about to chomp down, is when you actually do it. He makes the connection himself, and then you hit him at the last second. But this is completely bullshit! This whole scene right here feels like a canned animation. There's no indication you can affect it. Like what, I'm just supposed to spam my 2 buttons at this specific timing and say, wow, that's amazing design. No, fuck off. Clever, yes, but not well built. This is visual clarity, because earlier on, maybe like at the start of the game, there's plenty of animations that you can't interact with at all. So why would I have guessed this one would be any different? I get past it. And now it's on to the next chapter. There's 4 of them. I'll spare you the details of the last one because I don't have the fucking patience. Chapter 2 is about conveyor belts and how we, as a society, are too reliant on cheap labor and machinery to produce our goods and way of life. The first part is an introduction to the new core parts. Belts and the pneumatic presses. They'll stomp you if you're under them, they have a timer, and in the Shadow Realm you can mess with them. Again, sounds good on paper. In practice, oh god, why? You see this weird inner cog thing. Only once. This is the only time this kind of puzzle shows up. A shame, because it's cool. Belts, belts, more belts, it's all belts. Escort a box from being destroyed. It's not hard, just long and tedious. Like, really long. Floor switches, next part now. This saw part is cool, a little irritating, but that's it. And oh fucking boy, here we go, the candy on top. This entire next portion, Neon is unconscious. You think at first, oh thank god I don't have to move her around anymore, but buddy, you are fucking out of luck. Cause now we're up against this fucker. I like to call each chapter one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This right here is death, just flat out. I'm not sure if it was just because I'm mad retarded or something, but this part literally took me a dozen tries just to get the smasher to smash at the right time. And every time you failed here, by the way, you have to start all over. I don't know why. And there's a memory fragment here as well, which means somehow you have to figure out a way to reach it if you want the true ending. Final segment here is just dodging a ton of the saws that just float upwards. This one's just kind of odd. I don't know. I didn't sign up for Toho. I was almost genuinely having fun here until we meet our best friend, Chapter 2 boss. How can I even explain this one? The mechanics here are simple to understand. Dynamite is gonna spawn. You push it into him, and when he chomps in front of himself, he blows up. Do it 3 times. Okay, go. It doesn't help having shit constantly rain down on you. And then him having a one-hit KO at the end of it all that you have to figure it out. I'll give you a hint. Yes, it involves hiding under the cart. No, that's not enough. I'm not even gonna spoil how you beat him because it's just a fucking dog shit, and if you do play, how about you feel just as miserable as I did? Chapter 3, Mushrooms. Before we proceed, remember, if you're suffering from depression, anxiety, or have suicidal thoughts, call your local suicide hotline today. You're not alone. Except when you play this game at 3 in the fucking morning. Just cutting all the shit here. We've got fans that blast air and it moves you around. And you use an umbrella to float your way through this one. The floating controls are... okay, well, I'll just be repeating myself here. Eventually you come across this mushroom, and when you touch it, oh wow, you're a fucking monster. Look at you. Worst part about it, now Neon runs away from the Firefly. Oh god, why? I just don't understand it. I hope your frustration levels are up to 11, because I know mine are. Oh, and right, don't you know when you touch water, you just die. You know, no skinny dipping. You go into a pipe, I get it, it's a Mario reference. Walk down this staircase. Takes a million years. More stupid shit, and when you reach this fan, it cuts off the shroom and you regain normalcy. Until right away again, the next part you immediately go back to shroom mode, so why did you even cut it off? You can circumvent this shroom, but you need the hover power anyways, so I don't know, maybe you can get the umbrella in here or something, though I doubt it. This one up here is worth all the marbles. You have to move fast and dodge these spike blocks coming at you with fans blasting in your face. This is where the pixel perfect timing really hits the spot. Fucking edges you have to cut to make it up is just ludicrous. For some reason, the entire chapter is this. I guess they thought it was a lot of fun. Oh, and these things, these platforms, you hit the switch underneath them, and then you have to glide along with them or die. Lots of fun. Get to the end here, and I hover down to this memory, only to be laughed at because I didn't do it fast enough. I just die right away afterwards and to do all that shit all over again because, yeah, I guess. See these fans? Don't go up them. Giant waste of time. Eventually we go topside. It's a nice change of scenery, yes, and the music is going real, ramble blast on me. So I got stuck here at this pond because it's not at all clear what you're supposed to do. Turns out there's this vine thing, and you can interact with it in the Shadow Realm, but that seemingly does nothing. Turns out you have to hover over it with light, and it grows. Shadow cuts it. Okay. Oh boy, the flowers. These things shoot pellets. And I'm sure you can gather what that means. Because hey, why not? You find this one, and you can control it and aim it. I can't tell you how many times I killed myself with this shit. I wish the pellets didn't bounce. Hit the switch, go underground, get chased, get fucked, and drop. We're done here. I could go on more, but it's the same stuff you've been hearing me say the entire time. I'm not sure why this game had to be this way. It's got all the aesthetic going for it, but no substance in playing it. Like, surely their playtesters alerted them to this. None of them could have found this that fun, could they? It's all massively irritating and just boring. I don't like being angry with my reviews, but holy fuck. I'm just gonna end on a sour note. Don't play this game. No cheeky one-liner or anything at the end here, no. Don't play this game.